Welcome back again in this video. In this video, we're going to look at something a little bit different. And what we're going to be looking at is data structures. Okay, so what is a data structure? There are very many definitions you can give about data structure, but if I can give it in the perspective of a JavaScript developer, data structure is basically a way of organizing information or data with optimal runtime complexity for adding or removing entries. Okay, so there are very many data structures that can be used for specific problems, and today we are going to look at one of the first data structure, and that's a queue. Okay, so we are required to implement a queue in this coding challenge. Okay, so let me first read through the description of what we're going to be doing. After that, I will take you through what queue mean, what the queue, how the queue works, and how a queue is implemented at a later stage. Okay. Description here is saying that create a queue data structure. The queue should be a class with methods add and remove. Adding to the queue should store an element until it's removed. Okay. Examples. Just an example. Before I go into the example, I want to first take you to the illustration of how the queue works. Okay. So this is a diagram that shows how a queue works. Okay. If you have ever gone to the bank, okay, maybe you find yourself that you've gone late in the bank, and maybe you have to wait. Okay, so you stand in a line. Okay, you make a line. Okay, line of people waiting to be worked on. So that line, remember that line is what you can call a queue. Okay, so the queue, if you can look at this example here, this is maybe a line. Okay, so the first one who comes first is the first one who gets out of the queue. So when you're going in the bank, I don't expect you to just come and from the back towards the front. No, you can't. You have to follow that order, right? So the queue follows what can I call it, like a system? It follows a system of first in, first out. Okay, unlike other data structures that follow other ways, but a queue, when you're adding in a queue, you call that enqueuing, and when you're removing from a queue, we call that dequeuing. So this is the queue. Okay, we would have two records inside here. Okay, one record is getting out, so this record is getting out of the queue because it was there first. Okay, and here at the end, this record will end up getting out of the queue at the last stage because it's entering last. Okay, so the queue follows the first in first out principle. Okay, first in first out. So we are required to implement that in JavaScript, and by that we're going to be using object-oriented programming. Okay, so let me hope this illustration works for you very well. Let me hope you understand how the queue works. The very easiest example you can think of a queue is making a line in a bank or making a line anywhere. Maybe when you're making a line for food, that's what we call a queue. The first one being served on first, and then the last one will be served on at the end. Alright, so let me start implementing the queue straight away. Hope you've understood how the queue works. Okay, so inside here I'm going to make initializations. Okay, so for us to make initializations, we're going to do that in the constructor function. So inside the constructor function, we're going to declare data, this is the data variable, and that variable is going to store our data, and that data will be stored in form of an array. Okay, so we shall initialize it to an empty array. So to add data to that variable, we're going to create a function called add data. You can call it add record, and record is what you're adding to the data. Okay, so here I'm going to just access this dot data dot shift dot unshift. If you don't know what the unshift method does in JavaScript, unshift simply adds an element in the front. Okay. So this one will add. So this unshift method will add to the front of what is already existing. Or no, it will add at the back. Okay. To add to the previous record being in the data array. So this is what the unshift method does, to add to the previous one which was added before it. Okay, so that's one of the method, and the other method is the remove method. The remove method removes the first element that was there first in the queue. Okay, so the remove method, this remove method is going to simply be so we can call it remove or the dequeue. This add method you can call it enqueue, and this remove method you can call it a dequeue, but it's very best for me to call it a remove because it's very easy to understand what's doing. So here we're going to remove and return. We're going to remove from this dot data dot pop. So this will remove the first element that was there first in the queue. Okay. Then the other method is the pick method. Pick method will access, okay, it will access the element that's going to be removed. But don't remove it, just access it and return it to you without removing it. Return this data. We're accessing the last, okay, this dot data dot length -1. Okay, the element at that position, this data dot length -1 will be the last element that's going to be removed, that's on the verge of being removed. Okay, it's one on the top to be removed. Okay, or it's the one in front of the queue, if you can think of it that way. Okay, let me help you understand these methods. The add record, the add to add to the previous, which was already added before. The remove to remove the first, okay, and then the pick remove the one in front. Okay, so to test out our solutions, we're going to create an instance of this class. Okay, so this is const queue is equal to new queue. So we're making an instance of this queue class, and with that we can access everything. We can access everything in the class. Okay, so let us start adding. We're going to add queue add. So pay attention to these lines of code I'm going to write here. So we're going to add queue.add 1. Okay, so that one will be added first. Then queue.add 2. Oh, sorry. Queue.add 2. Oh, sorry. 2. Then queue.add add 3. So before this, so that 1 will be added first, 2 will be added second, and 3 will be added third. So I'd expect when I'm performing these functions here, okay, the remove method, I'd expect when I'm to remove elements here, when I'm to remove them, I'd expect one to be removed first, because we are following the first in first out principle. Right, so let me console log for that data and see it. Console log. I can access the data array through queue.data. So let me console log for you the data array and have a look at it. So you say node, we are inside. I created a folder, by the way. called Q. So that's why that's why I put the Q.js file. So we go into that folder, cd into Q, then you execute node Q with a lowercase Q.js file. So you see we're having 3, 2, 1, right? So one was added first, then 2 was added next to 1, then 3 was added last. Okay, let me try removing. So I'm going to say Q dot remove. Okay, so let me first console log the data here before removing anything, and then I'll console log again after removing, and we'll see what I mean by this. Clear the console, then execute the command again, node q.js file. So at first we had our numbers 1 up to 3, so 3, 2, 1. Then I removed. So remove the first element which was added first there. So 1 has been removed and we're left with 3 and 2. Right? Okay. So let us look at pick again. Let us look at the pick method and see what it does also. So we're going to just console.log q dot pick. I also want to perform this before removing anything and see what we shall get. Let me clear the console. You see, our values initially were 3, 2, 1. Okay, so pick we access the one in front of the queue. So that's why it's console logging 1, because 1 is the first in the queue. Then I remove the one in front of the queue. So that's why 1 has been removed and we're left with 3 and 2. So now at the end here, I'm now accessing the pick method. So initially we're left with 3 and 2. Pick will return a 2. Let me hope this clear. Yeah, let me hope this is very clear. Let me hope you've understood this, and because in the next challenge we're going to proceed from this we're going to use this very file to do the next challenge. So let me hope you understanding how to create a queue. Let me hope you understand the first in first out principle of a queue, because in the next video we're going to continue with the queue and look at other challenge that might come up in the queue. So thank you for watching this video. Like, share, subscribe. Let's meet in the next video. Bye bye. Have a good day.